Okay. We're rolling, Marley.
We're rolling, okay. So this is the calling to order of the Gateway Road Landscape Advisory Committee. We have a quorum of 4. Public posting was satisfied?
Yes.
Okay, so I'd like to, anybody want to,
I'll make a
approve them?
motion that we approve the minutes.
okay,
Second.
second, so approved. Okay, next one, landscape. Oh, did you not vote?
Oh.
I'm just trying to get to see Rippin. Okay,
Okay.
so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye.
Okay, moving right along.
Those that are opposed should let him know right out loud.
Right, exactly, I'm moving today. Follow up on the landscape of the medians.
What did you find out when you took those pictures that, I read your notes and it says that,
Yeah, here's what I did. I looked at it again, because I thought we only had, you know, a very short, this is the pictures on the, going into the, what is that?
Front island at 82.
Well, no, this
No,
is
this
the
is-
actual, here you have.
Oh, that one.
I just took another picture.
This is the end of the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
at the end.
So-
Yeah.
The backside of the
So this is
first
the back,
island.
this is the one that goes into that gate. What's it called, the villas over there? What's it called?
Is it Stony?
Stony Brook
Villages
Villas.
is Stony Brook or
Village of
something.
Stony Brook.
Okay, so, you know, if you look at that and you look at the fuzzy one
Mm-hmm.
on the back, it's really, it looks to me to be the same size, from the royal palm to the bullnose. Is that? Does
One
it make
might
sense
be a
to you?
little bit bigger, but not much.
Yeah, not enough to, so I was trying to understand what Mainscapes, how they were doing this one in front of the villas, but they couldn't do the one on 82, so that's, cause I thought the one in the villas was a lot larger, and doesn't appear, now that I've looked at it, isn't. So maybe we can get some clarification on that, cause you guys requested not to do the ones on 82, but
Yeah,
to,
because basically this is a loophole. Most, where the flowers would be.
Yes,
One
the
of the flower
flowers.
beds is going to be on the top of the loophole.
I know, but don't you have the same problem going into the villas?
This is villas or this is?
No, this is
Uh-huh.
villas and this is 82,
And this is 82.
yeah.
I would say yes, it's the same color.
Yeah, it looks to me to be the same issue.
Yeah, it's an issue.
Right.
But we don't put in anything over there yet.
Well,
Right.
the plan calls for it to be at both places, right? Okay. And so last time, my impression was that you all were requesting just the one on 82 and not the one in the villas.
Well, probably we didn't pay attention on the one on the villas, so we paid for the one on the 82.
Okay?
But I will check it out and bring the people to see the possibility, the option that we have.
Okay. Well, I made that motion last week based on, I thought it was just, the other one was okay, but now we have 2 issues, right? The same
Mhm.
issue twice.
Mm-hmm. Same island, right? We're talking
Same
about the same
island.
Same
island.
island.
This is at the
two ends
end
of
at
the
the
same
villas,
island.
the other one's at 82.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The two ends of the same island.
Right.
Yeah.
Same issue.
So I don't know if we wanna entertain, doing something else because,
So they match?
so they match. I mean, I'd almost be tempted to put the annuals back in here and go ahead and cut them in, I mean, it's not that they couldn't be put there, it's just that,
Didn't you have trouble with growing them when before we moved the Royals, didn't you have trouble with all the mediums, all the bull noses? They would grow, but they wouldn't be, sometimes they looked like they were dying.
Never had animals there.
When, in the area that we removed the palms,
Before you moved the big palms.
before we removed the big palm, it was just soft.
You
Yeah,
see,
there
the
was-
roots were there too.
Yeah, and the soft that was around the palms always are dry and weak. It's just between the palms that are healthy, but
I'm assuming because they can't establish a root system that close to the root ball with all the,
The root ball of the palm is very
Mhm. Yeah.
sensitive and aggressive, and whatever is there, they took everything. They don't, you know, for this little root ball that have the flowers, comparing with the root ball of the palm, it's possibility. I don't know. We can try.
Yeah, I mean, one alternative would be to maybe use a stump grinder, and cut those back a couple feet, or a couple, inches, and then top dress it with the, potting soil, and then put the,
Yeah, this is what we did with the back side of this thing. At the end, we go with a stone grinder to make a trench
right,
and put it to be able to plant the peanuts.
oh, to plant the peanuts, you did that already?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, could we use that same technique here on these two, and then just, and supplement it with the potting soil, or the
Yeah,
mix?
we can try. We just bring in the issue because we don't want it that you waste your money. That's the point. But,
And these are changed out how often? How often?
change 3 times a year.
3 times a year?
Every 4 months.
I don't know, any thoughts?
And they're due to be
The
put in.
The purpose of the flowers is to dry as soon as the people comes to the property,
Mhm.
the flowers popping up, oh, wow, this is nice, but if you are going to have a crappy flowers over there, it's the opposite. So, we bring the issue. At the end, you take the decision. We do whatever you ask us to do. It's your money, we just do whatever you ask.
Sure.
want to do.
Go ahead, Kathleen.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Aren't you supposed to be putting in the flowers this week?
Hmm?
When you first said this is what you were told, the end of May,
Uh-huh.
you would be putting in the flowers. So aren't you gonna be putting in the flowers this
Yeah,
week?
the flowers is going to be installed at the end of June.
End of June now.
Yeah, no, remember 2 meetings before we move it forward to make possible.
Right, we-
Install the flowers at the same time, so the flower will pay to the rest of the community.
Right, and you said the end of May.
No. And the main was at the original plan. And then we moved it to end of
Well,
June.
in
In
the
our
notes
last
here, it
minutes,
says June.
June.
It says
Yeah.
1st of June.
Well, first of June is end of May.
Well, technically, it's the 1st of June. It's not the end of June, though.
Yeah, no, it
But-
isn't.
Right, that's your point, I
What I'm saying
think.
is this next week.
Yeah.
And what I'm thinking this week or next week that's when I'm thinking that we're doing it, 'cause June is next week.
Okay.
No, in these 2 coming weeks, we are going to be installing the rest of the peanuts, the plants material that we didn't install it because the light pole was not installed. So we are, in the next 2 weeks, we are going to complete it, this section, and we are going to build the flower bed. Okay, because we are not going to just plug the flower beds over there, so this one need to be removed and put it up.
So you're planning on doing the median the same time you do all the boulevard then?
Yes.
So that's about right, that's the way they
Mhm.
usually do it.
So at the end of June, we'll see flowers there.
Yes, ma'am.
So I guess the question I have to the committee is, do we want to rescind our motion from last week, because it was only one part of the island, and just have them go ahead and try it? I mean, it's rotated 3 times a year. I think if it's prepped right, just like the other, he's already used
And have him use a grinder and,
yeah, and he's using a grinder already on the peanut, so it's not like it's gonna hurt the tree.
no, it won't hurt the tree. I'd rather see that done because it would all be uniform.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's what I said, that's why I voted no last time.
right,
It's gonna be uniform.
right.
So, I'd like to make a motion to rescind the decision last time that we were not gonna install annuals. And we're now making the decision that with the stump grinder used, is the same process as the peanut, that we're gonna try the annuals.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Nope,
So we
okay.
have annuals.
So if you'd give that a shot, we'd appreciate it.
When you were up there taking pictures, did you notice how close the Exorias were planted to each
Yeah.
other? They look like they're
I didn't.
touching.
I didn't.
Freddie,
Yes.
have you noticed that the Exorias are pretty close to each other? They have no room to grow. I was on my bike,
Mhm.
so I looked over, and they look like they're this close together.
The
I know
point is
you
we-
planted what they told you to.
We went, with the plan with the architect they provided. We put the number of plants and we put it on the same side, because at the end, we don't want it, somebody go over there and come, hey, the architect said it's 120 plants and you only put 80.
Right.
But are you gonna keep them trimmed down? Are you gonna keep them trimmed so they stay small?
Yes, it's going to, it's part of the maintenance. That we, is in the agreement.
You know, one of the other things that we talked about last meeting too was, we had discussed the subject of the excessiveness of the amount of palms in there too. And I think we had all agreed that at some point when all this gets in and there's other stuff to do, as we proceed, that we can move some of those palms, and maybe at that time, you know, we pluck every other,
Yeah,
That
no
if
problem.
they, if they need room, yeah, if it's a problem,
That was
if they need
mentioned,
room.
but can you imagine what the people are gonna say when we start doing that?
Yeah, cause the palms.
Well, let's hope we don't have to do it. It's
Yeah.
just an alternative B or C,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
But the palms, see, they were supposed to be clustered in groups. and
The
they
what,
have-
the what?
The palms were supposed to be supposedly.
They were supposed to have been three and then nothing, and then three and then nothing,
But
and
they didn't do it that way.
they didn't plant them that way.
That's what we were told. They-
Oh, sorry, let me turn that off. I apologize.
That's right, we use it once.
Feel like Auburn fight song.
I was gonna say fight zone.
I don't know, do you have a copy of the plan?
Sam, I have
Did you
it.
throw it there?
I usually bring it, but I didn't today.
It's in my shop on my phone.
Here it is.
She's got the color, and I have the.
Oh, you know what, this was the, original.
I think this is
And that's the way it looked.
That's why everybody's so mad.
Yeah, well, we had the Alexanders in there, right? Right? So,
Yeah, they were supposed to just take those out and put the, Zoro in it. But it is, it was groups. Okay, I knew it was crazy, yeah.
and they used it more evenly spaced.
And they, yeah, spaced them, I mean. So we'll
Yeah, they're the same distance between each one.
See, that was on the internet, and people saw it, they
Right.
thought that's
Oh,
what they
yeah.
were getting.
So, you know, clusters would look different.
In a row.
Yeah.
Freddie, you have a feel for why they did that? You understand what she's asking? If we look at the plan here, the Alexander palms, which were replaced by the thatch palm, but the Alexander palms are supposed to be clustered closer together, like 3 in a row, as opposed to totally evenly spaced.
The Alexander?
Because the option was we replaced the Alexanders with the thatch palm, right?
No, there was one section with Alexander and another section with the other kind of palms.
Yeah, but there's no Alexanders down there, right?
Yeah.
There are.
Yeah, there are.
Oh, there are,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But they still were
I gotta
supposed
slow
to be
down when I'm
clustered,
driving.
right?
But actually, you can't hardly tell which ones are which.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's saying that they're supposed to be clustered here, see how those are tight together and then these are evenly spaced? Did we do that? They're saying that we didn't do that.
What is supposed to be, I can check it.
Okay.
But it's supposed to be because they went right with the plans. It was supposed to be like that.
Okay,
If it's not, then the only thing that we need to do is fix it.
okay. You wanna take a look at that?
Yeah, I will.
Fix that and cluster those,
Mhm.
as opposed to being so symmetrical?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That'll help a lot.
No,
Great,
well,
thank
if
you.
we don't do right, what we can do?
Who checks your work? Is that the district that's doing that? Do we know?
The installation.
Or is it Ellie, or who?
Yeah.
Ellie does?
Mhm.
Okay. Should we be, Diane, should we be going through Ellie on this, or is this just okay to talk to the,
Usually what I do is she gets a set of these minutes,
okay,
and then she'll follow up, you know, if there's an action item,
okay,
so, let me check.
okay.
See if she-
That's why everybody was mad. They saw it on the internet, and then when it wasn't planted that way, they really got upset.
So far, we have to, keep going with the original plans with the flower bed.
Please.
Okay? And review the Alexander pump, if they are planted that was supposed to be on the plan.
They're supposed to be clustered in threes, and I don't think you've got that many Alexandra palms out there, have you?
Okay, so we review.
I was gonna say, I'd go back to the original, have them take the original blueprint with them and look at it on site.
Okay.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
how we doing?
Good, good.
So we're making decisions. So we're gonna go back to the annuals instead of the, on the bullnose.
Okay.
We talked about that with them.
Whatever you would like to have, that's what we'll do.
Okay, and then the question was brought up that if we looked at the plans, the Alexander palms are supposed to be planted in triples as opposed to evenly spaced. Do you see what they're talking about there, Ellie? So these right here, see how those are triple?
Those are closer together?
Yes, and then these are evenly spaced, then there's a
Okay.
triple, then there's one, a triple, then
I see
evenly.
that, okay.
And we're thinking that they may just evenly space that, so probably wanna
Okay,
update that.
alrighty, do we want to go out there and pull them out and replant them?
Yeah, I think whatever he recommends.
We can go out there and we will take a look and see if that can be done. They may have been moved depending on where irrigation box or the valve or the, electrical boxes, the junction boxes for the lights may have been.
Okay,
I remember something about it,
In the
I'm
way?
sorry
Mm-hmm.
that I can't.
sure, a lot of things. go on.
Remember exactly what it was. I know there was, we'll go take a look though, and if we can move them closer together, we can do that.
Okay, and then you let us
They
know.
haven't been there that long, they should be easy to move.
Yeah, just let us know this.
You got the poles in yet?
The poles are in, the old poles are out, so all of the light poles have been completed, they're energized. And from what, residents have been telling me, the light is very, it lights it up great. Have you
Good.
noticed?
Great, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, let's go on to the next one, follow up on the landscape irrigation issue at Cypress Point, Eagle Point Drive. How do we come out on that?
Freddie, I have to commend all of you. I mean, when we left this meeting, the next day, the hole was filled in, just as you said it would be. I even had residents come to my door that night that walk with their kids and their dog, and they were like, thank you so much. I'm like, it wasn't me, you know, I mean, yeah, I presented it, but they kept their word and they fixed it, so thank you. The edging it looks impeccable. I mean, that's the way it should look, and it looks really nice. It's the best it's looked in years. And I mean, thank you. Thank you for following through, and thank you for
I would
having them
say
do their job.
Thank you to you to bringing out, because it's a big community,
Mm-hmm,
and when the guys mess it up, with the communication flow, everything can be hard.
yeah,
If the guy missing is not because Mainscape not missing, it's just because the guy just missing, because they are tired or because they are lazy, whatever it is.
mm-hmm,
But if the communication flow, everything can be hard.
yeah. And the flowers look great. Thank you. But it looks very manicured. I mean, honestly, it's the best it's looked in years. And it
Right.
makes the landscaping that we put in and invested in, it's making it even pop, because everything looks so well manicured, so thank you.
We're trying to stay on top of that trash in the medians too, but I got to tell you, that guy may have moved away, but.
Somebody else is taking over?
Somebody else is either following his footsteps.
You
but-
know, I'm gonna be honest with you, I thought about putting a, camera, there's a resident that lives on that wall that is on the board, and we even thought about putting a camera there to see who's doing that and address the issue. I mean, 'cause it's been ongoing.
It has been a long time. You just would not believe how many cans we pull out of there on a regular basis.
Well, the one time there were like 300 cans, that one
Yeah.
time,
Mainscape went over there and pulled out 3 garbage bags full of them one day.
yeah. I saw it. And that guy did move, so I don't know who's still doing it. But anyway, as far as the landscape, the irrigation, thank
Wonderful.
you.
Glad-
Even the patch where the heads were not obviously working, where we were getting big, huge, dry patches, that's all green again, so it looks good. The only question I did have is now going down Gateway Boulevard, the oaks. Is that gonna be trimmed or thinned or lifted at some point by Lee County, or?
What I
Yeah.
just did.
I just spent everything plus some. I actually went over budget, a little bit. The board approved it though. It came to the board for approval. We trimmed all of the oaks in the medians, and I started there first because of the street lights. Then we did all the oaks along the berm here on Griffin Drive. Again, I trimmed everywhere there was street lights.
Mhm.
Now, what I did do yesterday was ride through with a certified arborist and, to get an evaluation and recommendations. There's a lot more of them need to be trimmed, agreed, totally.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I just couldn't go through and do them all at one time. I didn't have enough money in the budget.
Yeah, 'cause those oaks going, toward 82 on Gateway, they're at Eagle Point, they're actually starting to grow into all the palms, and they're pushing the tops of the palms over. And they're not ours, so we've been keeping all the palms and everything cut, and I even had them trim a couple of the oaks.
And
But-
that's fine. If it's hanging over there, please feel free to have them trimmed back. And I'm not asking you to have them
Mhm.
trimmed, but I'm just saying, there just wasn't enough money in the budget to do the right of ways. So I went to clear around all the streetlights, and I had those lifted and cleaned.
Okay. All right, I'll see what we can do on our end.
You know,
Well,
I
like
think
said,
I can,
I'm sorry.
I think I can help you. You said, would Lee County be doing the oaks? When
When they
I
do
was
the turnover.
on the road turnover committee, we took over all the plantings. The sidewalks and the plantings and the mediums are all ours. They took over the roads. Now, we have the sewers, but they will maintain them because they don't like the way we maintain them. But everything, lights and landscaping is all Gateways, all CDD.
Okay,
So anytime you want something pruned, you have to tell them.
okay.
And I will do my very best to follow up and get that taken care of.
Okay.
The other thing I did speak with the arborist about was perhaps providing us a maintenance contract to just keep it lifted to the 15 feet that's required by the Lee County DOT. Mainscape is responsible only 4-inch limbs up to 14 feet, but some of those trucks are a little higher than that, and after we have a rain, some of those limbs can get heavy out there. So we're talking to them about having maybe a light maintenance contract, which would just be to keep them lifted for DOT regulations.
Okay. And the only other thing I was gonna mention, just that I noticed, just to put on your checklist, at the pool, the sprinkler head that, not the first one on the corner, but the next one in before the fire hydrant, the head's broken, and when I leave in the morning at 7 AM, it's all over the road, it's spitting all over the road, straight up in the air, so you may wanna take a look at that
And
one.
we don't need another fountain out there.
Yeah, yeah, that's it, for me, on
Okay.
that.
To help and improve communication, one of the things I noticed was most of the the weeds in the beds are under control really good. But there's certain areas in the medians that we have some challenges. So I just took some pictures, I was gonna just share them with you. And I think the ones that really look the worst is where the oaks are, where you have the oak
The
suckers coming up.
The suckers.
So, you know, what do you do to maintain those so they don't look like weeds?
Basically, weed ear because we are not allowed to put any herbicide, because the herbicide can hurt the oak tree.
Okay, so,
Unless you have a suggestion for that.
no, that's it, you use either weed eater or use garland or something like that. But if you can't use the garland, then you weed eat it, so, you know, these are just all down
We
the
have-
boulevard.
We have a consultant, 3 years ago, and we have the same question.
Oh, mercy.
At the end, just weed ear.
Okay, so I think we just clean those up, it would really improve the
Improve the.
look of the median, you know?
Yeah.
The first picture here is just, you know, weeds, you'll see when you go down there where those are. Next one's just weeds. This one here is actually across from your community. This looks like weeds, but I think it's,
It's the
Oh,
sucker road,
yeah.
sucker road.
Yeah.
no, those need to be trimmed down because that just looks like.
It looks like
yeah,
weeds.
it looks like weeds, right,
This is living across the Eagle Point.
exactly.
Yeah.
This is the worst one.
And then you got
I
the
know.
same thing here.
It's a
Eagle
little hard to
Point.
keep
But
those.
it's really not, but we're really not picking on it. Okay. So I'm just kinda showing you the pictures. This one here is back towards, across from like Waterford,
I know what it is.
and there's two, wrong plant.
The queen, the purple queen is,
Yeah,
is popping up.
right.
Yeah.
It looks terrible, doesn't
It's
it?
my challenge every year.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Put
we
it out.
can't get rid of that purple queen out of there. We
Yeah.
pull it out, we spot spray, and it comes right back.
Well, and the same problem with the goosegrass and the juniper, right, which is the last one. So,
So do you, why do some of the oak trees, do you know why? I'm asking your opinion or your thoughts on this, or anyone up there actually. Why is it some of those oak trees do that really, really profusely, and others we have no problem with it whatsoever? Is there,
I don't know, I guess maybe they're nice and fertile, I don't know.
I was
I have
just
no
gonna
idea.
say maybe the brown soil.
we could, I just still can't figure that out. Why some of them are really bad about it, and then others you have no issues with the sucker roots coming out of around the bottom of the tree?
Right. I don't know, but they do, you know, it does look kinda poor, doesn't it?
It does. Makes it
So if
look
we can,
shaggy.
if we
It
can
looks
kinda
like
pay
leaves.
attention to that, I think you'd clean up that boulevard so much by just hitting those things.
I mean, we pay $1 million. It don't look like $1 million.
Right. Okay,
Yep.
that's, anything else?
I have a couple of things.
Yes, go ahead.
I always do. Paving, why is the paving stocked 2 feet from the end of the median near 82?
I'm sorry, Kathleen, I have no answer for that. I was not in on the roadway project whatsoever.
So-
That may have been the limit of their work. I'm not exactly
I mean,
clear.
it doesn't even go to the median so that it looks,
Finished.
finished. It's before, I go down and you see the median and you have like another 1.5 feet and it looks real strange.
Gotcha.
And I know it probably didn't go to 82, that I could understand, but I thought it would at least go to the.
Well, it's in the minutes, so we'll follow up with it
Okay.
in the road turnover papers and see if maybe that was.
Also, tomorrow, there is a Lee County inspection of 8 miles of Gateway Road for the road turnover.
Hmm.
Oh, I have a couple people have complained, you know the gateway sign that's on the north entrance near 82?
Mhm.
It's, never looks nice, there doesn't seem to be any plants in it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
all right, I got a couple
Mhm.
complaints about that. Also, the gates on Gateway, I know that the Florida,
FPL.
yeah, that one isn't done yet, but the one across the street, those two metal ones are open. I was asked why they're open.
Again, I couldn't tell you, I never use that, I have no idea who's using it regularly.
And I think those are good questions for when we
Yes.
go to the regular meeting, because those are things, topics that we've had for, at the regular meeting that April's been addressing, and I actually had a resident call me, it had to be over 3 weeks ago, cause I had to leave and go to Philadelphia, so it was right before I left, and asked me if I would come to her home and come watch the video. So there's trucks driving in those back gates, and then they're going in that back field, and they're using it to do donuts and run up and down, and she's got them all on video. But not only
On the FPL easement?
Mm-hmm. And then, somebody else came through there in a truck and dumped all their debris and their trash in the big pile behind there. And she asked me if that was a landscape committee issue, and I have pictures of it, but I think really it's something to address at the regular meeting first and find out who even takes care of that.
Well, we mow this end of the FPL easement up to, the Gateway Commons pool. The other end, we don't do any maintenance out there at this point.
Got it? Okay, that helps me with that answer.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And where they're at on the gates, I'm not sure. I do know that April was working, or had somebody working on that.
Yeah, 'cause it was supposed to be May, end of May, and we're almost there, so.
Right, that's why I mentioned that, but the other ones on the other side now are open.
That
Those
is-
are the
and you
blue
know
metal
what?
ones.
That is going to be, they're about to close up Cypress Grove. We won't be able to access from Cypress Grove at all. And, because I was just over there talking to them today about their sediment and erosion control measures. Clean up all that dirt that's out there on Gateway Boulevard. And they said they're gonna close up Cypress Grove, and that's gonna be our only accesses through those other two gates out there.
That street, you mean?
Yeah, they're moving the construction access to that point, over
Okay.
there to that other side.
In regards to that FPL easement on the gates, two meetings ago, April had sent an email that they were supposed, WCI was gonna have that secured in 2 months. So that would be about this month,
Mm-hmm.
and she would be looking at that, so maybe that's a question for April.
Yeah, she also presented that at the last supervisors meeting,
Okay,
that it would be May.
okay. All right, anything else?
That's all the questions I have.
Okay, any new business we need to talk about?
I
Um,
have something that you need to know.
Okay,
I sent a letter to the supervisors today telling them that I would no longer be on the committee.
okay,
I went through pure hell when that medium was planted. I got a call when I come in here tonight, and I was talking to Diane, and I got another email. The woman said, "What kind of blunder do you think we're gonna put up with on this?" It's not ending, and it's because I've been here for 16 years and been on every committee, so they know me. And immediately, they send it to me. I can't take it anymore.
okay,
I'm 82 years old, it's time to relax.
sure. Okay. Well, we appreciate what you've done for us. Okay, something else?
April said she wanted under old business, the master plan. Had something to do with the master plan. Let me see if she is available. While I'm gone to check with her, can I ask a favor of each one of you? Can you pull your mic, I have my, technical people viewing the meeting. And if everybody could just talk into their mic, so they're testing the volume, cause people are complaining in the community they can't hear. And I think a lot of it has to, cause people don't speak into the mics, cause the mics can be pulled, they're movable.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the red button's down, which mutes you, but I made sure the red buttons were all released. So, I'm
Do you want us to say hi?
Yeah, just say hi. I'm gonna check on April.
You don't even have a mic,
I don't
Kathleen.
even have
No.
a mic.
Right here. You need to, hello, testing, hello.
And I am sorry, you all, I'm gonna have to depart. I've
Yep.
even stayed longer than.
Yep, thanks for,
And I apologize.
we won't be voting on anything else.
I was gonna say, at this point, I didn't think we
Well,
were, so
we're
I
just
thought it was
gonna
safe.
adjourn, aren't we?
Yeah, we're gonna adjourn.
Okay, good, good, good. Thank you again, Freddie.
Hi.
Hi.
So we had a meeting with, Bill Pricey, and, I just wanted to clarify. I had sent out an invitation, did you get that? To include, that I wanted to include one of the members at that meeting?
I didn't.
No.
JB might have. He's the chairman. He's just not here today.
Yeah, I think that's who I sent it to JB and asked him to please, relay the information to, I needed a member to be there at the project, kickoff meeting. So I just wanted to be absolutely sure that there was no sunshine issues or anything like that, cause I cleared that with Tony. And so when we have the meetings with Bill, I wanna make sure that he's coming to your meetings here, but we're also getting some project meetings at the admin level to keep things rolling. And I wanna be sure that we have a member from the committee at those meetings as well, to relay that information back to the committee meetings. So I really don't wanna proceed with the project and have these meetings without representation of a committee member. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So anyway, that's what we tried to do for the first, kickoff meeting.
Do we have a schedule of those meetings yet, or are they kinda?
Not yet. So at the kickoff meeting, we tried to regroup as far as what we're doing with the master plan. And, one of the clarifications we did is he's going to work on a list of deliverables, so we know exactly what we're getting. And there is some clarification that we'll have to have at this level and the board level. He explained to me his final delivery will be, it won't be actual construction plans, so we won't have something in our hands to say, okay, we're gonna go bid this landscaping project, so we can actually go get this landscaping project done. What we're gonna have, in layman's terms, is kinda like, when you buy a home, you have that initial brochure, you can fold it open and you get the little blueprint of the house, you know your square footage, you know what it's gonna look like, you know about what your dollar figure is that you wanna invest. But you can't hand that to a contractor and say, go build this house for me. There's just not
Conceptual
enough-
drawings is really what we're
Right.
talking about, yeah.
So that's all it's gonna be, is just that initial, he's going to provide the initial design, kind of like give us a reasonable ballpark figure, and then provide a palette of plants, that will work for us, and then we kinda get to pick and choose from that palette and kinda whittle it down to a budget that's palatable, where, we can do the grand scheme. So that's one of the things that we clarified, and he's going to provide a document for us to clarify specifically, so we can move forward from the beginning, kinda regroup and just be sure that everyone's on the same page. Let's see, he is finishing the inventory, so he's out doing just the inventory of the plants that has not been completed yet. And, clarify the deliverable list. And also in this summary document, we're going to provide like a list of opportunities and constraints, just kind of regroup the project as a whole. And also, create that schedule you mentioned of the milestone dates on how we're going to kind of administer the next 24 months, that we kind of have the grand scheme of things, scheduled out. And then I need to work on the contract with him, and so far, I wanted to try to make sure that we had a date in mind for our next meeting. We're gonna shoot for mid-July, and for an admin meeting, So I wanna make sure that a committee member is represented at that meeting, and so as soon as I get that, I'll let you know. And then we were going to have him come in and do the presentation for your committee at the July meeting. Does
Okay.
that sound feasible? Any questions?
Sounds good to me. The only thing I'd probably do is, maybe Diane could send that information out to the whole committee. And then we can say, she can say, I need volunteer or whatever, who can be there.
Okay,
As opposed to just kind of force it on JB, cause I'm sure his email blows up like mine and we don't always get to it timely
Okay.
or whatever.
alright.
And I'm very flexible.
Yeah, I just wanna be sure that, we get the committee representation as much
Sure,
as
absolutely.
possible.
I'll be glad to be
And,
gone.
And then that way, so as we
I don't want my
pre-plan
name
from
on it.
one
It's
meeting
gonna
to
be
the
a
next,
disaster,
you know,
I'm
like,
afraid.
I could step away and you guys could have these ideas afterwards or after the fact, hey, we should do this, we should do that, we should talk about that at the next admin meeting. So we have an opportunity to prepare that information at that admin meeting and then bring that back to the committee as a whole, with maybe some answers. So I don't wanna leave it to just 1 month or one monthly meeting for just the committee. I wanna try to schedule some more administrative meetings in there as well to keep momentum on the project.
Okay? All right, thank you.
Okay?
Anything else? Did I hear somebody say they wanted to adjourn?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
This is Dolores' last motion.
Okay.
Second by Kathleen. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Hold a good meeting, buddy.
I'm in one of those moods, gotta keep it rolling today.
Have a good day.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thursday, during the inspection, Elle and I. On Thursday, during the inspection, Elle and I, we are going to check it out, the issue. with the
Okay.
December,
Great.
And we'll let you know.
All right, thank you very much, appreciate it.
Bye.
Take care.
I will.
I'll see you around.
Oh, yeah.
You're always around. How's Cliff?
He's doing a lot better.
Is he good?
He stabilized at 159 pounds. He was 204, he's 159. And he's stabilized and looks good.
That's a big difference in weight.
And medication they had him on didn't approve, he didn't, and he can't get off of it. His body rejected it, but he has to have it. If you talk to Gail, tell her I said hi.
I will. I need to
Go see her.
actually, I
I
have to
miss
get
her